It's time to dad.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Time to Dad. I'm here with my buddy Nick and Jason. We have yet to meet each other in person. We're just internet friends making this sweet, I don't know, it's an everything podcast at this point. It's not necessarily dad stuff. You know what I mean? It's just us being buddies with each other at this point, which I like.
Nice. Thank you. We're not buddies, though.
Not your buddy, guy.
Don't call me buddy, pal.
Not your guy, buddy.
Well, we're due for a check-in, I think. Anybody want to go first? I'm not even going to ask a question. Just
Okay.
see whatever is on your mind.
I have something that was on my mind about this podcast, and I think we all meet in person sometime next year. I think that should be a plan.
Well, we've
That way
already
there's no
decided
rush of me.
we've got to plan it.
Yeah, well, we can all
I just
meet up.
bought a shit ton of camping gear. We can do a dude's camping trip somewhere.
We can do that too, but that's too gay.
You don't have to share a tent.
I mean,
Or
that's
sleeping
kind of
out
the
the
way
butt.
that I live is by sharing tents.
By sharing tent. Is that what the military taught you?
We all stay in the same tent.
That's your check-in? Come on, give us another piece of insight into the life.
That's not a check-in. That's your wish.
That was just me. That was just me talking nonsense.
Check-in.
Let's see. Check in. Well, I already introduced myself. My name is Alex. These are my internet friends, Nick and Jason. Let's see what's going on in the mind of Alex. I'm looking at gym equipment that I haven't touched in too long of a time. I would like to say what it is, but I just can't.
You keep gym equipment in your kitchen?
In my living room, but I can see it.
We've got some of that.
Looks like a cabinet. That's a living room. What's behind you?
Right here. This is kitchen stuff.
That's a kitchen.
Yeah, this is kitchen stuff, but my gym equipment is not in the kitchen.
This is an open concept, this home.
This home is an open concept.
Wow.
Yes,
So you have mirrors on your cabinets.
Yeah, that was not my choice.
Got mirrors on the ceiling for all that sneaky, sexy time.
Pink champagne on ice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what you just said, but I like it.
Bro,
let's see.
You don't realize that's song? Hotel California?
No. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, my God. All right, I'm ending the episode.
Never heard of it.
Much.
Wow.
Never heard of it.
Wow.
You never heard of St. Gillis?
That's not St. Gillis.
Hotel California. Never heard of that song.
Oh, that song. Yeah, it's a cool song. I don't know.
Google it when we get off of here. You'll fucking.
We'll Google it. No, but what I was saying, I enjoy my job. It's very, very good. I got a new motorcycle. I've never had a motorcycle.
That's the check-in. Just talk about that. Just check that.
That's what I'm doing right now, Jason. You son of a bitch.
Talking about gym equipment that you don't even use. Talk about something you're using.
If you would let me finish my sentence, you son of a bitch. I'm doing my check-in. You can have your check-in and I'll interrupt you. Let's do that.
I don't care about your gym equipment. I want to hear about this bike.
Okay. I have a motorcycle. It's the first time I've ever owned a motorcycle. It's a Royal Enfield Scram 411, which is the size of the engine. It's a 400cc engine.
You need to get it ceramic coated because I know a guy.
No. It's ceramic coated. No.
6 years unlimited miles.
I like it. It's pretty fun, kind of scary, kind of dangerous. I do like that it makes me feel like a child again riding my bicycle, even though it's clearly not a bicycle. But that's the feeling that I get with it. It's very freeing in many, many ways. My kids are really healthy, which is a fantastic thing to say out loud. If you really fucking think about shit, like my kids are super healthy.
Yeah, especially with super little ones. Shit. I feel like we were going to the fucking doctor every other week.
Yeah. I was the scared parent that would rush my kids to the emergency room for the dumbest things. Well, you know what? I would like to say it out loud, but it's a sore subject between me and my wife, and she's within hearing range. So I'm not going to say what I wanted to say.
That makes
Good
her the
save.
one wife that
You
listens
just
to
gotta
the
man
show.
up. Oh
I
shit!
don't know
Right,
if she listens to the show. I think we should start adding clips, by the way,
she's got
clips of our
AirPods in.
videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we should do stuff like that. Let's see. I don't know. I think that's all I got for now.
Jason's turn. Where do you want me to go?
You son of a bitch. Yeah,
Um,
let's talk to Jason, that guy.
yeah.
Be
So
real. Let's be real right now. Give me something, Jason. Talk to me,
I'm
baby.
always real.
no, it's just it's stressful.
So what's
Life
stressing
and
you out?
I mean, I think that's a longer topic. If you wanted to talk about what's not stressing me out, that'd be the quicker,
Yeah,
easier
what doesn't stress
conversation.
you out? What's anti-stress or whatever? How do you deal with stress? That's a better question. How do
Heading's
you deal
big.
with stress?
I don't. I really don't. I I think I deal with it with different forms of stress. You know, if I'm stressed,
So you
I
deal
get
with stress with other stress?
yeah, yeah. I do a less stressful form of stress. I decompress stress with more stress.
Take a lighter
Um,
approach to stress when I'm stressed.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I certainly drink heavily. I don't know. I think stress for me is so apparent and prevalent that it really, I do lose. The only thing that I do to avoid stress is to just find a different form of stress. I like my drives. I like drives in the car, even though I'm
I'm
just
a fan of
going from
those.
one stress to another stress. So this time of year, I take the roof off my Jeep and I drive around with the roof off and I get some wind in my, and I think, obviously Alex does the same thing. You get the wind in your face and it feels better a little bit. You're like, it's like life is hitting you in the face.
You know what that is?
It's
That's
air.
like, well, it's air, but that's like one of the techniques for like anxiety and also stress is to like if you have pants like jeans on something textury is to just like pinch it between your fingers and like rub your pants because like tactile things like as little as it seems it does a lot to take your mind off the immediate stressor or whatever's causing you anxiety. It allows you to like your brain is putting so much power into feeling whatever is happening that it's not possible for whatever bullshit or anxiety you have going on that's stressing you out to make it into your thought process.
Nick, that
Fun
is the
fact.
most magical thing you've ever said.
That's why, dude, like
I
not to hijack your
accidentally
check-in.
do that.
Yeah, not to hijack your check-in, but my like when my anxiety, because I don't medicate my anxiety with anything other than some extra supplements, vitamins. But when my anxiety is like through the fucking roof, I have to find something to like keep my hands busy and keep me occupied. So I'll take like an extremely extra long amount of time to cut the grass. I'll come out here in my shop and fucking I'll find something to do that keeps me busy. And it's anything that'll pull your mind away from the shit you got, even if it's just 10 minutes, because stress really is, it's super, super, super harmful to like long-term health and heart health and things like that. Like it's been linked to it all. It
I
fucking
think
sucks
that
too.
Jason, we got to work on it, bud.
I think that's that maybe that's my only check-in of substance is so health wise. We went, my wife and I, to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he told me that I don't breathe out of one side of my nose. So
Huh,
yeah,
the fuck's that
and
mean?
so I mean I can, so it's such a deviated like passageway, like he did an
Oh, you have
x-ray.
a deviated septum?
Yeah, and he's like, it's nuts that you like he thinks some air will get through there, but for the most part I only breathe through one side, and it obviously causes issues with sleep, and I don't sleep thoroughly. I
You have
sleep.
apnea?
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the thing. They got to send me. They
Yeah.
want me to do a sleep thing. Then they want me to do probably a surgery for my nose, and but I think it explains a lot because sleep is paramount to performance and stress and all the things. And I don't think that I've ever really gotten good sleep, even though I could sleep, quote unquote, when I was a kid, all day, or at least like sleep in really late. And my parents would be like, "Oh, he sleeps so late," all this and that. But I think the reality is that I don't sleep well. I don't get deep sleep. Whereas if I could just get a few hours of that actual deep sleep, I probably would feel so much different.
Game
It would be
changer.
like a different reality, which is kind of a weird thing to think about because I wake up so tired, always so tired, every day for as long as I can remember. I think that is a big thing that I need to try to
Well,
do
shit,
something
get in
with.
there.
Well, it's not really getting in there. I mean, he's like, this is not something that's a quick fix. You got to come back in months. And
Oh,
even
my
if they
God.
figure something out that happens, even if they give you a sleep study, that doesn't mean anything. They might put you on some sleep machines and put you on, try to fix the nose thing, but that's 20% of the problem. It's an issue. I'm sure it's an issue for many dads. I mean, obviously, if you're overweight and you snore and all those are like the typical sleep apnea issues, but I just apparently never could breathe out of one side of my nose. And I'll track it. You guys do like you wear like the Apple Watch or whatever, and look at your sleep.
Yeah.
So you can look at it and it's a bad scene. It basically shows that
You
I
never
wake up.
hit the REM sleep or whatever it is.
I do okay, maybe like an hour and a half of REM sleep, but deep sleep is like it's like a half an hour in a 7-hour sleeping session. So
I took that watch off. Well, I didn't take that off, but I turned that portion off because like looking at that shit was giving me fucking anxiety.
I mean it can, but I think it's a decent barometer. It's something that you forget is actually happening, and it is keeping track of your health, which I think most dads don't. I think that's a topic in itself. Like I think most adult males and most dads, either way, they don't actually monitor their own health at all. I don't know if anybody would like.
Nah, I went like 6 months ago for a full like checkup and blood work and shit. Before that, I probably hadn't gone in, I don't know, 10 fucking years at least.
Holy crap, dude.
Fucking hate the doctor, man.
Speaking of health, I gotta shoot up my cat with some insulin. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Do it. Well, I don't know how to follow that up.
Yeah, but I mean, stress. We all have it. We all deal with it.
I was gonna ask him if he's had his fucking testosterone checked, man, because a lot of guys I know that have some of those symptoms are they had low T. Have you got your T checked out?
I smoke a lot of tea. It doesn't help.
No, man, before you do all that shit that they're telling you, I would get your testosterone levels checked.
Yeah,
like
but
severe
actual
tiredness
airflow
is like a big thing with low testosterone.
Right, but if you're, I'm sure it's a symptom. It could also be a symptom of not sleeping. Like, so the breathing.
Yeah, I'm just saying low T is a easy fix if they could pinpoint that that's causing a majority of this versus this long laborious process and all this fucking testing and waiting and appointments and shit.
Yeah,
that's one appointment to get checked out and the doc will know right away. I would suggest it if it were me.
Yeah, all the things. I mean, all the things.
Welcome to getting older, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So the check-in is that I'm not sleeping. I'm not.
You try any
I'm stressed out, and I'm not getting. And
try
I'm not
melatonin
getting,
or anything?
Yeah, that falling asleep not generally the problem. Falling asleep
Just
is
staying
fine.
asleep. Yeah, see, that's where I am.
I'll pass out.
Good rest. Yeah. Okay.
I'll pass the fuck out. I do like
Yeah.
I my brain, and I don't claim that I know how anybody else's brain works with any other job, but like the mental gymnastics of talking to people and trying to sell things and psychology all day long, and then taking care of like two kids that are under 3 years old is insanely exhausting. So I will fall asleep. I will pass the fuck out. And that's really like that little bit of time, that like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. That's probably where I get that whole half an hour of deep sleep is that first session. But then if you watch what happens on the watch is at some point, most likely because of airflow restriction, I wake up. And then I wake up. I don't wake up fully. I don't even notice that I woke up. Or I do. Sometimes I do like consciously like, oh, I'm awake. I'm going back to sleep. I'm awake. I'm going back to sleep. And I'll like be so awake that I notice it. And sometimes I don't. But it's obviously happening. And then before you know it, it's morning, and you feel like what the fuck? I didn't get any actual sleep, and now I got to do this all over again. And oh, by the way, like it's 5:00, and that's when I'm like the most tired, I feel like. And it's because I didn't get it. I went through the whole night, and I'm so exhausted, but I didn't get even close to the actual rest that my body needs. And that's I think that's like a Groundhog's Day scenario right now.
So who did your wife make you go, or you finally were like, fuck, I need to go get this looked at?
We went together. She used to work at a dental office, and the doctor was real big on referring people for breathing issues, especially if you're like,
now?
it's all connected. So essentially, if you're grinding your teeth, if it's not like perfectly lined up with your your teeth and your jaw, if you got jaw issues, it's usually it's your brain is telling your brain is trying to tell your brain something, to tell your mouth something, and it's causing you to grind your teeth, which is actually probably a reaction to not having the proper airflow. So there's some connection between grinding your teeth and deviated septums and airflow and all those things. And it affects everything else, stress and personal relationships and tiredness throughout the day, and probably testosterone and everything else, because your brain's not functioning at full capacity because you didn't get enough sleep. And it's an ongoing thing right now. And I feel like that's probably like an American worldwide, or even like the whole world. Like that's an issue that a lot of human beings have, that they have no idea they're actually dealing with. Not to mention just like, we're always in a constant state of stress, right? We're always in like a fight or flight mode, even though we're not actually fighting for our lives. We're fighting for a perception of what keeps us alive, which is like money or houses or a roof over your head or whatever. But like your brain, your sight, like the part of your brain that used to react to running away from a predator is now in a constant state of stress based on man-made artificial stimulants at that point. So you're never actually at rest. You're never actually relaxed. And when you do try to like meditate or slow down for a minute, it feels very weird because you're not used to that. You're not used to actual calmness. You're not used to actual like not being in a state of like tension. So when you're not tense, it feels weird, even though that should be the opposite. Like you should feel when you're tense because you're running away from the fucking grizzly bear, not I'm now feeling the difference of, oh, this is nice, I'm calm, but this is weird, because normally I feel like I'm always like fist clenched, like jaw grinding tension. That's like your normal state of play. And then calmness is the different, where it should be the opposite. It should be like calm, chill is your normal state of play, and oh fuck, I'm running from a grizzly bear is like the opposite. But we don't have that. That's not the way that human beings live anymore. It's a problem.
Yeah, to jump on what you just said, I do get suspicious about, things being too calm, things being too good. I'm like, something's up. Like,
There's some fuckery in the air. You know what I mean?
Shoes gonna
I'm the
drop.
same way. I'm the same way, dude.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Well, get your breathing checked out, fellas. That's all I can say.
I need to request a sleep study for me too.
Yeah, go to the ear, nose, and throat guy. Let him take an X-ray of your fucking nose, because you probably don't breathe great. Especially
I don't
if
breathe
you
great
got,
after taking a baseball to the face.
no, it might be an injury. It might be a long-term thing that happened. It might just be your brain and your nose are not shaped
Could
right.
be like a chronic fucking infection too.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. He's like, oh, you should constantly be taking an allergy medication, antihistamine, because mucus is building up and you've got allergies. And I do have lots of indoor allergies, so my nose is always stuffy, even though I'm not sick. I'm allergic to dust and cats and everything. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the check-in is that it's a fucking fight right now. Everything sucks.
What you're saying is everything is a disaster in your world right now.
Kinda, sorta, yeah. And everybody out there that's like buying cars and thinks you're fucking real cute because you're asking for crazy discounts because it's not COVID anymore, you guys get fucked, all right? Because if you want to fucking buy cars, if you think that you're just going to use AI to like negotiate, that's what people do now. They got an app and they're like, oh, AI says I can demand a fucking $3,700 discount under MSRP and a rebate from the manufacturers. Like, if that's what you want, you're going to start buying a car is going to become buying Teslas, and car salespeople are going to be cashiers at Best Buy who have no product knowledge at all, because nobody who actually wants to make money and take pride in knowing about the product is going to do it anymore, because there's going to be no money to be made, because everyone's just going to literally use AI to shop for cars. And if that's what you guys think, like, oh, I got to save a buck, I got to have a $30 lower car payment, which you're going to refinance anyways, that's your goal. Okay. Good luck with fucking Best Buy Teslas, and not there's going to be no more going to a car dealership and talking to people that actually know anything.
I don't like talking to dealership people anyway.
I think that future is pretty close, dude, because isn't Amazon selling Hyundai?
No, that didn't work. That was a total fail. That's really, because
saying, like, that was close enough. Like, you can buy a car online if you go to like places like Carvana, where you can order a car online and it gets delivered to your house. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're closer to that reality than you think. But I also don't think that you're considering the difference between a used car and a new car. I mean, yeah, sure, these people are trying to get a discount, and you can't blame them in this economy, dude. Like, everybody's struggling to make money, not just like you, me, or whoever. I think I don't blame them. If you can use AI to your advantage, I think you should. I think you should fucking use every inch of advantage you can get over anything, to be honest, not just sales.
Yeah.
Like, help yourself where you can. And
Jason says, fuck you.
No,
yeah, dude,
I just say,
Jason,
to go back to you just a bit, I mean, I'm sure there's weeks, I'm sure there's months where you kill it, and these thoughts, this cluster of whatever bullshit is in your head, probably doesn't cross your mind very much during those really good months, right, or really good weeks.
No, I mean, I never sold cars during the so-called like boom, the COVID. Like the COVID years
Yeah, that was
were
a crazy one too.
so lucrative for people because everything was marked up and there was no inventory, and you could just say, we're the only store that has this car. If you don't want it, the person behind you wants it, go away. Like, I can charge whatever I want and you have to pay it. And oh, by the way, you have to take, the ceramic coating for 3 times as much as it actually costs, and take it or leave it. And people thought that they were like God's gift to the car sales, and it's not an exaggeration. I'm going to tell you guys the real God's honest truth. In this market where all of the cars are discounted under MSRP less, and I may sell like my largest number, I probably will sell close to 30 cars this month. 30. And during COVID, people made more money, probably significantly more money on 10 cars. That's how crazy that market actually was. And I'm not saying that that's the right way to go about it. And those people were not more talented than me. It was just market, and the people buying cars didn't have a choice. And it was 0% interest. It's like, oh, it's 0% interest, I have to buy. It's like, you can't refinance a payoff. You can't refinance the fact that you just paid $5,000 more than you should have. Just because it's 0%, you are buried in that car forever. I would much rather buy a car at 10% interest that's $2,000 under MSRP and then refinance it when it's 5% interest and get it back to a reasonable payment than pay $5,000 over MSRP and get 0%. Like, oh, yippee doo. Like, people don't get it. And it wasn't, they didn't have a choice, but it's a very different climate right now for everything, for buying everything. Everything's more expensive, but also not a good time to buy because the rates are high.
Well, that sucks. But I didn't know anything was going on that crazy with AI.
I mean, I talked about AI. AI is fine. It's not really. I mean, it is what it is. It's not going anywhere. You can use it. You can ask for help with this or that. But, yeah, if people are going to use apps like that, honestly, if a customer comes in with that, I'm going to give it to somebody else. Be like, no, I'm all set. Like, I don't even care if you want to buy the car. Like, I'm good. Like, it's not worth the time and energy that I have to spend with you to make like literally $125 for a day's work. Like, I could make that at McDonald's. I'm all set. Like, I'm not going to do that with you. So if that's that's what I make when they lose money. So the dealerships aren't going to deal with that either. Like, if people come in with those apps and stuff, they're not even going to sell them the car. They'll be like, all right, yeah, because the app claims like, we negotiated this deal for you, but they're not actually telling you where they negotiated it or any of that. So when that AI bot now tries to call whatever dealership and say, okay, we've got your customer and they want to pay this or that, like, the dealership's going to tell them to get fucked. Because if they sell every car at a $3,700 loss, then they will go out of business. There won't be cars anymore. Like, if you lose $4,000 on every sale, you can't, like, the doors it. Like, there's not that big of a margin of profit on car sales. I'm telling you that right now. It's not a thing, especially not Hyundai car.
Yeah,
I feel you.
So that's discouraging.
Would you ever consider, like, would this scenario with Hyundai be the same as like let's say if you went to Mercedes or like Lexus, for example, would they encounter the same issues, or is it a little bit less because cars are more expensive? I don't know if that question translates.
It's a different clientele. I don't think a person buying a Mercedes or a BMW has the same concerns about saving every dime and being on a shoestring budget, so they don't care enough to do AI research. A few of them will, but the percentage is much smaller. Like most people who go and buy that, they're the kind of people that buy clothes and jewelry for their wives and stuff, and they don't even look at a price tag. Like I've had finance managers who literally told me the story of going into a Louis Vuitton store at a mall and being like, okay, hon, like don't you want a bag? Like, which one? Just pick the one you want. And at no point in the process until it was gift wrapped in the box did he ask or find out how much the item cost. He didn't care. He was buying it no matter what. And I think that people who are buying high end cars, that's kind of how they do it. Like, it's like they know what car they wanted because they can afford it either way. So when that payment comes down at the end of it and they look at the paperwork, they're really not going to say very much. They really don't care. So no, it really wouldn't matter at that point. There'll be a small percentage of people that would, but no, high end car buyers are not the same class. But that's such a small percentage of people. The vast majority of people are buying Toyotas and Hyundais and fucking American pieces of shit and stuff like that. So,
hey, I like my American car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad does too. He likes bringing it to the mechanic and having to get a rental because the computer shits out like 4 times in the first 2
better
years
than the
of its
whole
life.
damn motor.
I mean, whatever. It's the same difference at that point. And the motors are both, not going to last much past 100,000 in either one.
Lies.
So like Hyundais and Chevys are not like.
Oh, I don't own the Chevy.
They really shouldn't fight. Like Fords and Chevys and like Jeeps.
I don't own a Ford either.
They shouldn't be fighting because it's a race to the bottom at that point. But yeah, no. What's that?
I think we're all in the race to the bottom.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, I mean, if you want to say, Toyota is like going to last longer, it's like, yeah, but they don't. They're kind of boring. They don't put a lot of,
they are very cheap fucking interiors. My wife's interior drives me batshit crazy. It's so cheap. You close the fucking door and like the whole door panel on the out, you just fucking shake. It's very cheap.
Yeah, it makes noise on the road. It doesn't have any technology.
Yeah, they put so part of the system in their newer vehicles, it's actually a noise canceling sound that goes through the interior speakers to help cancel out road noise. Like rather than, maybe we should use some different materials or provide some sound dampening from the fact. No, we're just going to pump additional sound through your fucking speakers so you don't notice that you're fucking riding down the road in a tuna fish can.
Hyundai does that.
Toyota's solution to that.
Hyundai will do that. And actually, I've told that to customers, and they were like, they kind of think like, oh, that was thoughtful. Like, that's nice of them. To me. Because it's
Toyota people would, though. Yeah. That does not fucking surprise me that they're like, they're really looking out for me.
Yeah, they just don't want it to be loud.
I mean, they're still safe vehicles, but just like everything about her car when I get in it, I'm just like, cheap plastic, not going to last.
Yeah,
fucking hate it.
And I think the average consumer, I told you guys, it's about 3 or 4 years of ownership, anyways. So what do they care? It's about the technology. It's about the technology. They just want to have the like cool stuff and Apple CarPlay and whatever. So like, if the car doesn't last 200,000 miles, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
I got to go 200,000 on a car. Got to.
Yeah.
That's a minimum.
Yeah.
My Speed 3, my Mazda Speed 3, when I sold that fucker, 265,000 miles on that beast. Yeah.
I got a CX-5. I can't give the thing away. You should buy it. It's a 2018. It's only got 14,000 miles. And it's a very nice car. I don't know why nobody wants it. We just can't give the thing away.
Because it's fucking turbo.
It's a little thing. It's like a little blue.
It's probably the 2.3 turbo.
Yeah, I mean it's got
Actually, it might be a 1.8 in those. I can't remember.
These fake leather seats. It's got features. It's a nice little car. It's literally like $22,000. Like we can't give the thing away. Silly.
Yeah.
But,
well, my fucking check-in. I don't know how to follow up that act. That was like half the episode. I don't know. Everybody's healthy. Well, my wife's dying of some sort of neck pain. I was like, why don't you go to the doctor or the chiropractor? She's like, I'm fine. And she's like, my mom gave her this like cat thing that's like, it's like rice filled, you know, they make those things with rice in them and you heat it up in the microwave and it's, I don't know. But my mom gave her like one of those and she had that on when I was coming out here. I don't know. I think it's just her not understanding that welcome to getting old. Shit just spontaneously falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah, this club sucks. I don't like getting old.
But other than that, everyone's healthy. We did, let's see, this past weekend. Well, 2 weekends ago, we took my son to visit his two cousins at their scout camp. And the last night of their scout camp, they allow them to like invite outsiders who aren't Boy Scouts to come to the camp and like check shit out. And so we went and did that and walked all around the camp. And from the time we got home, my son was just like, oh, he found out they do another event on Halloween, but we're allowed to actually go and take a tent and camp there with them. And so since we left, he wouldn't shut up about wanting to go camping. So I, like any other adult with some income that I could part with, decided to go and buy like a bunch of camping shit. So I bought a tent and a bunch of stuff. And then, and then this past weekend, we set it up in the backyard and I cooked like sausages and potatoes and onions and shit on our fire pit out here. And we stayed in the tent for the night. And after he came down from the hive from eating s'mores 2 hours later, he finally fell asleep. But he had a blast. So now we're trying to figure out where we're going to take him for his first real camping outing, where he can't just run to the house when he realizes he forgot one of his favorite stuffed animals or something like that. So, but it was fun. But it was kind of like you were talking about the motorcycle. It kind of brought me back. I did more camping when I was kind of in high school when I started rock climbing, but it kind of brought me back to that younger time in life where you're just out there doing shit and carefree and no responsibilities. So it was cool. And to see him, to see him like all excited about it was super cool. And we bought a couple. I took him to Walmart and we bought some special games. Like we bought some card games and some dice games that we told him are going to stay with the camping stuff, and we'll only play those when we go camping. And so we played them, and he had a blast. But it was fun. It was hot as fuck. It was a terrible weekend to do it, but it's whatever. No pain, no gain, I guess.
I think the heat thing is a stress additive for sure. I don't think. Oh, it's like very humid, hot, and we're in a garage because they still haven't finished the new building, and it's just brutal. And when you go outside, it's like unbearably sticky and hot, and you're just uncomfortable. And you're sitting in it and you're uncomfortable. And then if there's rooms in your house that don't have AC, that's very uncomfortable. Like sleeping with ACs that don't work right. It's.
Do you have central AC up where you are?
I mean, people have that. I don't have that, but
yeah, I mean, I know a lot of houses up there don't, because it's not really super necessary.
It's a small time period of being uncomfortable, but it's getting longer. I think the climate is changing. I think people are like, the summers are getting hotter to the point where it's going to become more necessary. But yeah, obviously when you're down, in southern states, it's beyond necessary to have it inside.
Get the old swamp ass down here pretty easily.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't even imagine living without it down there. But yeah, it can be very, very uncomfortable, and it makes your world, your perception of everything around you, pretty negative and stressful too. I think that's a big thing when it's hot, when it's either hot or raining, or that those things affect your mood. I think.
I don't know. Too. I always tell my wife I prefer the winter, but I don't know. Summer doesn't bother me. I don't know. I just deal with it, I guess.
I mean, you have seasonal depression in the winter because you're always inside, but when it's really that hot and uncomfortable, you're always inside with that too. Like that's part of it. Like
I hate summertime, like especially out here, because it's like the humidity is fucking brutal, and I've been here for 8 years. I'm not used to it. It sucks, dude. Like when winter comes around and it's like a 20, 30 degree day, I'm the happiest dude.
Dude, I'm rolling around in a fucking t-shirt.
Because that's the only time where like even my body is just comfortable. You know what I mean? Like there's no joint because it's so freaking cold, and it's like I enjoy it, dude. Like I enjoy the cold weather way more than like people love summer and they're like, oh, beach time, let's go to the pool, let's do blah blah blah, whatever. I don't have that. I fucking don't want it.
Yeah.
I want to stay indoors in the coldest setting possible, but just
I feel you. What's going on there, Jason? Stargazing.
What are you contemplating?
I'm just thinking about the real dad, like, of what you're saying though. So you're saying like, oh, I like it when it's cold. You know what costs me way more money? Fucking oil and paying for heat and paying for that shit. Like it's so much more expensive to be at my house in the winter when I don't have any sunlight, and so my solar panels don't generate anything. So I'm paying way more for electricity, and I'm paying for the heat with the oil, which is very expensive. I don't want to be, and
gotta bundle up, man.
No, fuck you. I don't. So if
people,
and then
in the same way you hate the winter, I hate the summer. In the same way you hate it, I hate the summer.
Oh God, I don't like either one of them, but I don't want.
You just want fall year round.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's it. Some fall is nice. The fall is very nice.
I love
the fall is like
sweatshirt weather, man.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great time of year. Although at night it's
balls don't stick to your legs. It's great.
But that damn boiler, that heater's kicking on at night, and I'm pissing money into that fucking oil.
You gotta turn it down, man, and tell everybody. If somebody complains it's too cold, they gotta have fucking pants on, socks, a long sleeve shirt, and a sweatshirt.
I'm cold. I don't want to get out of I don't get good sleep, and now I can't get out of bed because I'm too
cold. Plug in warming blanket.
No, I'm warm in the bed. I don't want to get out of bed to get up.
Well,
I don't want to exercise. I don't want to go get my kids out of bed. I don't want to go to work. I want to stay in bed where it's nice and warm. At least in the summer, it's like you're peeling yourself out of the bed, and if you don't have like good AC, and now it's like, oh geez, like hot. Like I'll get out of bed. I'm sweltering anyways. I just wait like you're in a pool of fucking sweat. Like I can get out of bed. This is not comfortable anyways. I'll fucking go take a shower or something, get all this sweat off of me. But yeah, you can't win.
Well, dudes, I don't know how we did it, but we turned 3 check-ins into an entire episode.
Yeah, we did.
So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hopefully you got some cool shit. But that's why we do those. That's life. That's kind of what our show is about, is giving you an insight into some dad things, some man things, and just saying it how it is for us. And obviously 3 different dudes, 3 different things going on in life, and it's a constant change of events and scenery, so to speak. So just, I think Jason and I touched on that last episode, is just being able to adapt and roll with the punches and deal with whatever shit you may have going on at that time, or enjoying the fucking high that you're on if everything's just going swimmingly perfect. So well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I hope we didn't bore you too much. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. As always, join us on Facebook, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Later.
See ya.